Pisces, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of October. So before I jump into the energy of the month, this is most applicable for your rising sign, which is how other people perceive you. It's still applicable for your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through that emotional lens. So jumping into the month here, we have an eclipse on October 2nd at 2:49 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is a new moon in the sign of Libra. This is the annual solar eclipse. These are fated events. These are fated points. Now's not the best time to do any kind of new moon intention just because it is an eclipse. It's just not a good idea. This one here, we are actually in the process of closing out the Aries Libra eclipse season. And we saw this already. We had the full moon in your sign back on September 17th. And so this was the first kind of glimpse into the Pisces Virgo eclipse season, where we'll fully move into that in 2025. But for now, we're kind of closing this out. And this one's actually pretty harmonious because Libra is that energy. This is a new moon. So you've got the sun and the moon. They're overlapping in the sky. They're at the same degree point, really blending the energies here. So this is a lot of feeling very balanced, expressing yourself in a very balanced way. Where this hits in your chart is in your 8th house. Your 8th house is debt, the money that you earn. This is death and rebirth. That is definitely part of this house here. Power and control issues. I would say this is probably less likely impacting that kind of area of your life, probably more of like transformation that's taking place because we are in a heavy transformation period right now. And so what you're experiencing is whatever money might be coming in or the money that you're paying out, that might feel very balanced, and it kind of aligns with whatever you see yourself transforming and growing. And it wouldn't just be the way that you feel or the way that you're expressing yourself. We actually have the sun and moon conjunct Mercury also in the sign of Libra. And so any kind of conversations that are taking place during this time, they are going to feel very balanced, very just, I'm getting a sense of growth oriented. It just feels very calming because that's what Libra is. Libra is all about compromise and just a very calming energy. We do have the sun and moon in Libra square Mars in the sign of Cancer. And so whatever's happening here, whatever has you feeling very balanced, again, maybe connected to finances, or it could be connected to maybe just your transformation in general, it's going to create an obstacle or challenge to this Mars in Cancer. So Cancer for you rules your 5th house. This would be your passion projects. This would be short-term relationships, children, if you have them or if you want them. And so any kind of action that you want to take in those areas of your life, feeling very balanced right now about where you currently are, it's just going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge. And it's more of, I'm happy where I'm at. Why do I want to make some sort of change here? You can work with the energy. If you really want to make a change in that area of your life, you certainly can. You just have to find a way to make it all kind of work together. And then we have Venus trine Mars. So that's going to happen on the 8th at 6:21 in the morning Eastern Time. And so Venus is the planet that likes to bring things together. It rules relationships, it's harmony, it's balance. It's the ruler of Libra and Taurus. And then you've got Mars, which is a very separating type of energy. It's the ruler of Aries. And so these two coming together, they're both in water signs, and this is all about your emotions. This is actually forming a grand trine. And so for you, where this is impacting, Venus and Scorpio is in your 9th house. And so you might be having a lot of deep, intense feelings about the way that you want to grow. What are you loyal to? What do you want to expand and grow as it relates to that? Trine Mars in Cancer. So what kind of action do you want to take as it relates to your hobbies, your passion projects, maybe even children? Because we are looking at a trine here, so we do have Venus and Scorpio also trine Mars, not Mars. It is trining Mars, but yes, but Saturn and Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is your house. It's your physical person. So whatever goals that you have for yourself, whoever you want to be, however you want other people to perceive you, because that is 1st house energy, the work that you've been doing towards that fully aligns with the way that you feel that you want to grow. Whatever your hobbies, your passion projects, maybe even children, all of that will come into play. This is all energy that easily flows with each other. These planets are all talking to each other, having really positive conversations. The only one that's a little bit challenging during this trine is Venus and Scorpio opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so the way that you feel about your growth and really wanting to grow and expand in some sort of way it is directly opposite to maybe changes that are happening in the way that you communicate or the way that you're understanding things right now. Uranus retrograde, I mean, these would be changes that would be sudden, kind of outside of you. You're not doing anything to affect these changes. Uranus isn't really looking for your guidance here, whereas Pluto, you're making changes. Uranus, not so much. And so it is going to be opposite. It's a push-pull energy, but you can find a way to work with it if it's something that's really kind of impacting you on a really big level. And then we have Jupiter stationed retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So that's going to happen on the 9th at 3:04 in the morning Eastern time. And so when this happens, Jupiter is the most benefic planet, but it's sitting in the sign of Gemini. So it's actually at its weakest point because Gemini is opposite Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And so you can kind of see it's positive, but maybe not as positive as it would be in other signs, specifically within Sagittarius. But here, I mean, this is still positivity as it relates to your home and your home environment. And so Jupiter being retrograde, what you're doing now is you're really focusing inward. Where do I need to grow and expand in my home environment? What opportunities do I see here? Gemini likes to get into the details. So what do you really want in your home life? Jupiter will trine the sun in Libra. And so this is going to easily flow with feeling very balanced in that house of transformation. So death and rebirth. Maybe the money that you earn, the money that you're paying out, things like that. Easy blend of energy. So you can kind of see there might be, just because this is 4th house, 8th house energy, if you're looking to maybe refinance a mortgage or take out a mortgage in the first place, this is actually pretty positive here because that 8th house energy would be mortgages. It would be the money that you pay. And that 4th house with that Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, if I want to maybe make some sort of home improvement here and you're really thinking about what does that mean from a financial standpoint, this is an easy flow of energy. We do have Jupiter in Gemini, trine Mercury in Libra. So this could be then conversations that you have with somebody here around getting a mortgage, refinancing a mortgage here, if that was something that you really wanted. Otherwise, I mean, this is just about whatever's happening in your home environment. You're trying to grow and expand. It just easily flows with whatever you're trying to change in general. Could be connected to finances as well. So it's all really positive in that way. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini will sextile Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so whatever you're growing within your home environment, it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to heal some sort of financial wound. Finances are probably more highlighted here for you than any other category, but this Chiron retrograde in Aries indicates that you have some sort of wound connected to your financial security or the things that you value. And what this is doing, any kind of growth that you want in your home environment, this is creating an opportunity for you to do something about that. Maybe create that stability. So if it's refinancing a mortgage because you're able to save money, that would be something that would help you in this scenario. It's an opportunity you're going to have to seize. It's not something that's just going to organically happen. But if you think about refinancing a mortgage, it's something that you have to assert anyway. You can't, it's not just going to happen. So we do have Jupiter square Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And so whatever you're trying to do within your home environment, whatever growth and expansion that you're seeking there, it is going to create some sort of obstacle or challenge to the work that you've been doing on yourself. Whatever internal work that you've been doing to be perceived in a certain way, express yourself in a certain way, it's creating an obstacle or challenge, but it's more of, I want to focus on my home life and that area of my life as opposed to maybe the goals that I have set for myself. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini opposite the moon in Sagittarius. And so whatever growth that you're trying to accomplish in your home environment, it is going to be opposite how you feel about your career. And so Sagittarius, again, very positive energy, very focused on growth and expansion. What do we learn? It's the perpetual student type of energy. For you, that is sitting in your career. And so whatever you feel about your career, it's just going to be opposite these kind of changes that you want in your home environment for growth and expansion there versus at work. And you can kind of see, it would be difficult to grow both your home environment and your work environment at the same time. That's a lot of change all at once. And so it's about maybe prioritizing your home right now as opposed to your work. But if you did need to grow both, you could certainly find a way to work with it. And then we have Pluto stationed direct in the sign of Capricorn. So that's going to happen on the 11th at 8:32 in the evening Eastern time. And this one here is pretty significant. So Pluto is death and rebirth. Definitely transformation taking place. And what we saw was at the beginning of the year, Pluto was in Capricorn. then it moved into Aquarius. And then it stationed retrograde in Aquarius, moved back into Pluto. Now it's stationed direct in Pluto and it's moving back into Aquarius. This is really the last time that we're going to see Pluto in Capricorn in our lifetime. Once it leaves next month and it goes into Aquarius, it's going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And so what you're being given an opportunity here is really evaluate and maybe restructure the way that you view your friendships, or maybe the friendships that you have. Because Pluto in Capricorn is sitting in your 11th house of friendships. And so whatever changes you want to happen here, this would be kind of that blessing from the universe to say, okay, let's take a look at these and maybe act on it now. And when Pluto does station direct, it's going to conjunct the moon in Aquarius. And so what this means is how you feel on the inside about kind of this liberating, feeling liberated, just less restricted. It's going to easily blend. And what I'm getting from this is when Pluto went into Capricorn, it really showed you some of those structures in your friendships that just don't work for you anymore, because Capricorn is very structure oriented. Let's come up with a strategy in order to achieve our goals. But then over time, it can kind of, you almost structure and overstructure, and it got to the point where it was very limiting and restricting. And so when it came to your friends, you might have had a very narrow view on how those friendships should be in your life. And then when Pluto entered Aquarius, it was like, well, let me show you what needs to change. And so now you're at this period of making those modifications so that you can close out that piece and move on. Pluto in Capricorn will trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so we've got the two planets of transformation in an easy blend of energy. So whatever you're trying to transform as it relates to your friendships and the way that you see them, the way that you interact with those people in your life, it's going to easily blend with the way that you're communicating and the changes that are taking place there. Pluto in Capricorn will sextile Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so Neptune retrograde in your sign, what goals do you have for yourself? Because whatever transformation is occurring within your friendships, it is creating some sort of opportunity for you to really go after and really get clear on the goals that you have for yourself. Who do you want to be? How do you want to be seen? Pluto in Capricorn will square Mercury in Libra. And this can indicate, because you've got a lot happening here. We've got Pluto, the planet of transformation, square your house of transformation. So these changes that are happening within your friends are just going to create challenges to maybe growing in a way that is very balanced, because Libra is in your 8th house. And so whatever transformations, whatever conversations that you're having, it just feels like it's a little bit difficult. The structures are more dominant right now, the way that you see your friends, the way that you want to interact with them on a regular basis. How do they fit into your life? What kind of role do they serve? It's just going to be challenging to have balanced conversations during this time. And it's because you're really focused on the transformation within these friendships, as opposed to maybe feeling balanced and having balanced conversations. It's actually a theme that we see a little bit here, where if you're in the middle of a transformation, it's really hard to stay balanced. If you're in a balanced energy, you're a little resistant to taking any kind of action to change because you're feeling balanced. So why would you? So we do see that come up a little bit this month, and this is one of those aspects. We do have Pluto in Capricorn square Chiron retrograde in Aries. And so this kind of financial wound, this maybe insecurity around finances, that wound that's coming to the surface, whatever's changing within your friendships, it's creating obstacles or challenges to maybe focus and take some sort of action to heal that wound. And then we do have Pluto in Capricorn opposite Mars in Cancer. And so whatever's transforming within your friendships here, it's directly opposite any kind of action you would want to take related to children, your passion projects, hobbies, things like that. And then we have Mercury enter Scorpio. So that's going to happen on the 13th at 3:24 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when Mercury enters the sign of Scorpio, so Scorpio is transformation. It is ruled by Pluto, so it's very much the same type of energy. Scorpio is a very intense, passionate kind of energy, very loyal type of energy. And so when with Mercury in the mix, these would be the way that you're expressing yourself, the kinds of conversations that you would be having. They would be very deep, they would be very personal, very transformative type of conversations. They're sitting in your 9th house of growth and expansion. And so you can kind of see how it all really plays in really nicely for you. And it will conjunct the sun in Libra. And so whatever you're trying to change, wherever you're feeling very balanced here, easy blend of energy. These deep conversations completely align with feeling balanced in the way things are changing, feeling really good, really solid about all of that on a very deep level here. We do have Mercury trine the moon in Aquarius, and so these kind of conversations that you're having that are very deep and connected easily flows with how you feel on the inside here. It will also trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, so these conversations will also easily flow with whatever growth and expansion you want in your home environment. Mercury in Scorpio will also square Mars in Cancer. And so if you're looking to take some sort of action related to children, related to your hobbies, things like that, this is where there is a little bit of a challenge with that Mercury in Scorpio, because if you're trying to have these deep conversations that are meant to help you grow, maybe now's not the time to take some sort of action related to children or your hobbies, things like that. And then we do have Mercury square Pluto in Capricorn. And so this is about those conversations for your growth and expansion, just creating obstacles or challenges to any kind of change that's taking place within your friendships. Then we have the full moon in the sign of Aries. So this is on the 17th at 7:26 in the morning Eastern time. And we actually have Venus enter Sagittarius later that day. So there's a lot happening on the 17th here. But starting with the full moon, so we'll have the sun in Libra, we'll have the moon in Aries. So the way that you're expressing yourself, very balanced. Opposite, maybe feeling very independent. For you, this impacts your 8th house and your 2nd house. So this is very financial heavy for you. 8th house being the money that you earn, maybe the debt that you're paying. 2nd house being the money that you already have. And so these two planets, so the sun and the moon, will have different conversations with other planets. The way that you feel about your personal finances is easily going to blend with whatever the wound is connected to your financial security, because the moon will conjunct Chiron retrograde in the sign of Aries. Whereas the sun, if you're feeling very balanced and very good about the money that you earn, or maybe the amount of debt that you have, that is going to be opposite, healing some sort of financial wound here. And so this is where maybe this could be connected to, because mortgages showed up earlier in the month. If your debt increased, but you feel really good about it because you feel like it's very balanced and it's in your best interest, then that would maybe hinder you from healing that financial security wound, because maybe now you're not able to save as much. That could be an instance. Like if you're buying a home for the first time, that could be an instance. We do have the sun in Libra trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. And so whatever balanced expression is taking place here, it's easily going to flow with any kind of growth that you want in your home environment. So this is that 8th house, 4th house. So again, kind of going back to mortgages or refinancing a mortgage, something along those lines. We do have the moon in Aries sextile Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So when it comes to this home environment here, this is actually, they're both in a positive aspect. One is more easygoing than the other. So if it's connected to maybe financing or refinancing a mortgage, that's an easy flow of energy. How you feel about your personal finances is going to create an opportunity for you to grow and expand your home environment. We do have the sun and moon. They will form a square to both Mars and to Pluto. Mars in the sign of Cancer. So whatever's happening with your finances, it's creating challenges for taking any kind of action as it relates to children or your passion projects, hobbies, things like that. And it's going to be both maybe the money that you earn and the money that you have that are going to create those challenges. We do have the sun and moon both square Pluto and Capricorn. So Pluto and Capricorn, again, it's about your friends, and it's whatever transformation is taking place with your friendships. And so how you're interacting with your money, maybe it's an increase in debt because you bought a house, or it's something about something very balanced though in the money that you earn or the money that you pay out. It's creating some sort of challenge with transforming that friendship. Also, the money that you already have creates challenges here. So if part of your transformation as it relates to your friends involves spending more time, spending more money with them, maybe going on trips, setting aside money so that you can do these things with your friends, that would be that kind of friction energy, that obstacle or challenge that you could find a way to work through. You just have to work through it. And then, like I said, we have Venus enter Sagittarius on the same day as this full moon. And so this one's actually going to be more positive in some of these aspects. This one's going to happen at 3:29 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when Venus enters the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is very fun-loving, adventurous, optimistic type of energy. And Venus likes to bring things together. It's really focused on what you value, what you love here. And for you, this is something connected to your career. So there's something that's really inspiring that you really love about your career, because that's that Venus and Sagittarius energy. That is going to easily blend with whatever action you want to take as it relates to your passion projects or hobbies, kids, short-term relationships, things like that. And so this is an easy flow of energy. Well, Venus will also trine Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And so whatever goals that you've set for yourself, whoever you want to be, however you want to be seen by other people, this is going to easily flow with you just loving your career and the direction that you're going. Venus and Sagittarius will also sextile Pluto and Capricorn. So whatever it is that you love about your career and you want to kind of grow and expand there, it's creating an opportunity for changes to take place within your friendships. And then we have Venus opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so again, loving your career is going to be opposite to any kind of changes that are happening in the way that you communicate here. Again, these changes in the way that you communicate or understand things, again, you can work with the energy. This is an opposition, so this one is a push-pull type of energy. You just have to find a way to work with it. And then on the 22nd, we have the sun enter the sign of Scorpio. So that's going to happen at 6:15 in the evening Eastern time. And so the sun in Scorpio, very transformative type of energy. It's ruled by Pluto, so this is all about death and rebirth. This is very intense conversations that might be taking place. The way that you're expressing yourself might be coming across different than what you're used to, or different than what other people are used to from you. But it's in your house of growth and expansion. So whatever is transforming, the way that you're communicating is on that plane. It is about you doing things differently, but in a way that is meant for your growth. And that's going to easily flow with whatever growth you want in your home environment. That's an easy blend of energy. The sun in Scorpio will square Pluto in Capricorn. And so the way that you're communicating right now, whatever you're focused on from a growth standpoint, it is going to create some obstacles and challenges to the changes that are happening within your friendships. It's also going to create obstacles and challenges to taking any kind of action as it relates to children, your hobbies, passion projects, things like that. But it's more of the sun in Scorpio. You're very focused on your own growth as opposed to maybe children, maybe your hobbies, or, your friendships in general. And then we do have the sun in Scorpio opposite that Chiron retrograde in Aries. So if part of your transformation and growth relates to spending money or investing differently, maybe not saving as much right now, that would be an opposition if your financial wound was around security. And so it's an energy you can work with, but again, you have to work a little bit harder with that opposition because it is that push-pull. And then to kind of round out the month, we have Mercury trine Neptune. So that's going to happen on the 31st at 8:33 p.m. Eastern time. This one here is really positive. And so we're kind of back to that triangle again, where we've got Mercury and Scorpio. So any kind of conversations that you're having that are really focused on your growth, changes that are taking place here, will easily flow with whatever goals that you've set for yourself. It will also easily flow with whatever changes or whatever action you're trying to take as it relates to your passion projects, hobbies, children, short-term relationships, all those things. And so whatever it is that you're trying to transform and grow, fully aligns with everything else that you're doing as it relates to who you are and the direction that you're going and the action that you want to take. Mercury in Scorpio will sextile Pluto in Capricorn. And so these conversations that you're having, they're creating an opportunity for you to make changes within your friendships. So this one's also really positive. This one here, it's not an easy flow of energy. You would have to take some sort of action. And then we do have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, sextile Pluto in Capricorn, which means the goals that you've set for yourself, how you want other people to see you. It's going to create an opportunity for more change to the structures of your friends, the way that you're seeing your friends, interacting with your friends, the role that they play in your life. Mercury in Scorpio is opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. And so again, thinking about these conversations that you're having, they're very transformative. They're going to be opposite to whatever changes are happening in your communication. And so if the universe is, I want to say it's the way that you're communicating, but it could also be the way that you're processing information. So this could be more of I'm communicating in a way that is very different than what I normally do. This is very transformative versus the universe, because that's Uranus energy. The universe is making these changes. It's not necessarily something that you're doing, but it's something that is happening to you. More of that kind of energy, but it is meant to be practical and grounded here. And so if you're trying to transform versus these grounded changes, that's where I can see this push-pull coming into play. We do have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, so these goals that you've set for yourself, they're creating an opportunity to maybe communicating in a way that is more grounded and practical, because it is going to sextile Uranus retrograde in Taurus. This is something where you have to seize the opportunity. So if the way that you're communicating is different and you're trying to get to a more practical, grounded place, really focusing here on what you value, this is going to create an opportunity to maybe change the way that you think about things or the way that you do express yourself. Neptune will also square Jupiter in Gemini. And so the goals that you've set for yourself, the way that you want to be perceived, it's creating obstacles or challenges to any kind of growth and expansion you want in your home environment. And it feels more like if your home environment involves other people, right now the focus on this is more you. And so you can kind of see where that would create some sort of obstacle or challenge, but you can certainly work with the energy. So Pisces, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.